At around 2 o'clock that afternoon, Liam's heart started to feel uneasy. He put down his work and had his driver take him home. The car stopped at the gate of the upscale villa area, and Liam walked in alone. Liam worked at a research institute. Not long ago, a patent he applied for was quickly put on the market, and he earned a considerable profit. Then, he and his wife bought a small building here. Creak, Liam used his key to open the door. He changed into slippers and headed straight to the upstairs bedroom. His every move was light. He was no longer a vigorous young man, and the long periods of intense mental work combined with the pressure on his heart made him feel prematurely old. He came to the bedroom door, which was ajar. Just as he was about to push it open, he suddenly heard Adah's joyful laughter coming from inside. Oh, his wife was at home, and she was on the phone, clearly having a very pleasant conversation. Liam pushed the door open. He saw Adah sitting on the edge of the bed with her back to the door. She was so engrossed in her conversation that she hadn't heard Liam's arrival at all. Just as Liam was about to softly greet his wife, Adah said her final words, "Goodbye, darling." Then she put down the phone. "I'm back." Adah nearly jumped off the bed, her face flushed, clearly startled. Then she playfully ran over and pushed Liam down onto the carpet, playfully. "You guy, you didn't knock when you came in, you almost scared me to death." I didn't mean to scare you." Liam held his wife in his arms. "My heart was a bit uncomfortable, so I came back early." "Is it serious?" "Oh, it's nothing, just an old problem." "Liam, you really need to take care of your heart thoroughly, don't delay it." "All right, I have to go shoot, I'll be leaving now." Adah stood up and walked out of the bedroom, her face still a bit red from the scare. Before leaving, she reminded her husband upstairs with concern. "Liam, I might be back late today. Eat by yourself and take care of your heart." "I'm leaving." Adah was a stage actress. Liam went to the phone. He saw that the last outgoing call was the one he made to the research institute that morning, and the last incoming call was from a completely unfamiliar number. Liam, with his usual keen observation and innate meticulousness, thought for a moment, then dialed the number. A middle-aged woman's voice answered from the other end. "Who are you looking for? May I ask if anyone used this phone just now?" "There was a man, he's gone now." "And this place is?" "A public phone." The other party rudely hung up. Liam felt a surge of frustration. He clearly sensed that there was something unspeakable in his wife's unnatural look, her lingering blush, and her hurried, almost escaping steps when she was being playful just now. Especially that affectionate "darling." No wonder she had been leaving early and coming back late recently, claiming she was shooting a new play. Liam felt a crisis slowly approaching his family. In the following days, Liam and Adah were busy with their own affairs. Liam was working on a new project, and Adah continued rehearsing for her new play as usual. She almost always came back very late. It had been more than 3 months since the rehearsal started, but Adah had never mentioned when her husband could see her performance. Liam was full of confusion. He didn't dare stop working, because whenever he had time, the image of his wife saying, "Darling," with that intoxicated face appeared in his mind. Yes, he was successful and wealthy, but for a young, beautiful, and energetic wife, it seemed he lacked something necessary. Was she really secretly seeing another man? If so, what would happen next? Liam knew that a smart woman like Adah would always strive for her own happiness at all costs. Sigh. What should he do? No, he couldn't live in suspicion without concrete evidence. Liam decided, just like his work style, to find solid proof of his wife's affair. But just a day after Liam made this decision, when he was checking data in the Research Institute's data room in the afternoon, suddenly, a sharp pain struck his heart. He felt as if a 1,000-pound rock was pressing on his heart, making it very difficult to breathe. His face turned blue, his lips purple, and he gasped heavily. The documents in his hand and the sweat on his forehead simultaneously fell to the ground. He clutched his chest with his right hand and leaned against the bookshelf with his left hand. His body slowly slid down. When he was almost lying on the ground, he tried to reach for the emergency heart medication he usually kept in his pockets. But he couldn't get it this time. Luckily, a colleague happened to come in and shoved the emergency medicine into his nose. Liam lay on the ground for 5 minutes before his colleagues helped him back to his office. After a while, he called the driver to take him home. On the way, Liam thought a lot. This heart attack was not only the most severe but also the most sudden and without apparent cause. If there was a cause, it would be the huge shock from the unresolved issue with Adah buried deep in his heart over the past few days. His heart couldn't withstand such a shock. Sigh. Forget it, life is limited. He shouldn't torture himself anymore. He shouldn't look for solid proof because that would only lead to a hopeless marriage. Thinking about it, Adah had been quite good to him in their 6 years of marriage. She took care of him when his heart was bad, and they understood each other well. Why let it end in an ugly scene where they part ways unhappily? Moreover, if she really fell in love with someone else, he also had a responsibility. Lack of vitality, being too busy with work, and insufficient communication were issues he should try to fix in the future. Sigh, forget it. He should find a chance to talk to her and work together to save their marriage. Liam got out of the car and took out his key to open the door. When he changed into slippers, he saw a pair of shiny blue high-heeled shoes on the floor. He remembered that Adah was wearing these shoes when she left for work in the morning, so he concluded that she was at home. Maybe she was in the bedroom, on the phone with that darling again. With his thoughts from yesterday, Liam would have silently gone upstairs to listen at the bedroom door, but this time he didn't. He deliberately turned on the living room stereo, letting soft music fill the air, then picked up the spray bottle to water the plants by the window. While doing so, he called out to his wife upstairs. "Adah, Adah! I'm back, Adah!" But there was no response from upstairs. Liam put down the spray bottle and slowly walked upstairs. When he reached the bedroom door, the door suddenly opened. Adah stood there, looking disheveled. Her hair was messy as if someone had just tousled it. Her nightgown was also disheveled as if hastily thrown on. Her face was a mix of blush and paleness, and her eyes were filled with awkwardness and helplessness. Liam and his wife stared at each other for a few seconds. In those few seconds, Liam's thoughts shattered like a broken pot. Then, he remained as calm as ever. "Were you sleeping? Sorry, I disturbed you." "Liam." Adah smoothed her hair. "I came home at noon and fell asleep on the bed. I just heard you calling me." "Adah." Liam waved his hand. "I just had a heart attack and was brought back by my colleagues. I want to lie down for a while. Can you get me a glass of water?" "Okay." Adah agreed readily and then, just like that day, hurried downstairs. Liam walked into the bedroom. He saw that the pillows and blankets looked like only one person had been sleeping in the bed. Liam knew this was why Adah had delayed. But these were not the main issue. The important thing was, where was the man? He couldn't evaporate in this house, could he? A smart woman like Adah would never hide him under the bed. Liam went to the balcony. The breeze blew, and Liam gazed at the distant scenery. His heart ached faintly. The two kinds of pain intertwined, making him feel exhausted. He felt like he stepped on something. Looking down, he saw a piece of rope at his feet. It was an ordinary hemp rope, lying lazily on the afternoon balcony like a snake not yet awakened from a nap. This rope was left from when the house was being renovated. It had always been in the corner of the balcony. How did it suddenly end up in the middle? And Liam suddenly noticed that one end of the rope was tied in a simple knot, and that knot was tied to the balcony railing. Liam turned back into the room and, like that afternoon, checked the phone. Just then, Adah walked in with a glass of water. "Liam, have some water." "Adah, I'm going on a business trip tomorrow. The new project at the Research Institute requires a piece of equipment from Linchi City. I have to go personally tomorrow. Can you help me pack my things later?" "Liam, you just had a heart attack. Can't be helped." "Adah, this project is very important to the Bureau and they specifically asked me to host it. The schedule is tight. I have to go tomorrow. Is anyone going with you?" "I'll go alone." There's a special reception for me over there. I should be back in about 2 days. Take care of yourself. Okay, be careful. Adah turned to pack, and Liam buried his head in his arms. It was already past midnight. Liam was walking alone on the street. From the moment he left home in the morning, he spent the whole day organizing his thoughts. He had prepared something in his pocket for what he was about to do. His biggest concern was his heart. He was afraid it couldn't handle the shock. But he thought, since he had decided, he shouldn't hesitate. Finally, he said to himself, Adah, you forced me to do this. Liam arrived at his door and gently unlocked it. The whole house was pitch black, and there was no sound. He closed the door and quietly walked upstairs. He reached the bedroom door, which was tightly closed. He pressed his ear against it, listening. There was no sound from inside. Liam felt a bit nervous, as it was his first experience of this kind. He turned the doorknob very slowly and pushed the door open a narrow crack. He took out a lighter and lit it to look at the bed. The bed was empty, the sheets neatly arranged as if freshly made. Liam reached through the crack and found the light switch on the wall, turning on the ceiling light. The dim yellow light spread down. There was no one in the corner by the bed. Liam pushed the door open a bit more. And then, he saw a pair of women's shoes hanging in midair. He quickly looked up. A woman was hanging from the ceiling. Although her long hair covered her face, it was indeed that long hair. And that outfit, those shiny blue high-heeled shoes. Adah. Oh my God! It really was her. Adah. What are you doing? Adah. Liam moved forward. Adah. What are you doing? Adah. Liam's hand reached for Adah's legs.
Why did you come back?
Liam suddenly turned around. He saw Adah standing behind him in the dim yellow light. Her long hair was not a hair out of place, and she was smiling slyly at herself.
Why did you come back? Why did you come back? Why did you come back?